In a previous video, I installed the Euro tune for the engine and the Alpina tune for the transmission. The tune for the transmission works great, but the engine tune, not so much. Let's talk about that. Hey folks, last time we worked on the BMW, I installed an engine tune from a European version of my car. The idea was to stop the trouble codes and check engine light because I deleted the secondary air pump and the downstream O2 sensors. Supposedly, the European cars don't have a secondary air pump or downstream O2 sensors, so they're not programmed into the engine tune. Unfortunately, my experience has been different. In my case, the tune didn't just delete the SAP and downstream O2 sensors. It deleted the check engine light. The check engine light does not work at all. If I turn the key, you can see the check engine light doesn't even come on during the bulb test. That's not what I wanted. If I wanted to completely disable the check engine light, I could have just put a piece of tape over it. And here's proof that the check engine light does not work at all. First of all, we have the ignition on, the dash is powered up. Now I'm going to unplug the mass airflow sensor. That should cause a check engine light. And what do we see? Nothing. So yeah. Because of this, I'm going to stop using the Euro tune. I'm going to reinstall the original tune and look for a better solution. That solution is TunerPro. I've used TunerPro before, so I'm already familiar with it. I was able to find a chip flashing utility and some definition files for TunerPro from MS43.com. The definition files are specific to your engine. TunerPro uses the definition files to interpret the programming in your engine computer, and TunerPro is used to make the changes to the engine tune. The flashing utility is used to read and write data to and from the engine computer. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the flashing utility to read the data from the engine computer and save it to my laptop. I'm going to keep a copy of the original tune just in case. Then I will use TunerPro to make a custom tune. And then I can use the flashing utility to write that custom tune to the engine computer. Okay, before we start doing any tuning, let's check out the MS4X wiki page and see if they have anything about deleting the secondary air pump and the downstream O2 sensors. Here we go. Secondary air pump removal. Nice. When removing the secondary air pump, the ECU needs to be configured to ignore the removed SAP equipment. To disable it, it needs to be set to 1. Alright. So when we go into the tuning, we're going to change that number. There will be a little number that you can change. We need to change it to 1. Oh, and right below it we have the O2 sensor stuff too. And it says, after installing catless headers, it would be useful to eliminate the post-cat sensors, setting it to 1. So that configuration in TunerPro is also going to have a little number you can change. We're going to change that to 1 as well. Cool, now we can start up TunerPro. Alright, we've got TunerPro started up. I have a definition file loaded. I have the bin file loaded. Now let's start looking at parameters. I'm looking for configuration switches. Here we are. I think this is the one I'm looking for. Configuration catalyst system. If you remember, we have to change that number to 1. We will save that change. Now we're going to look for secondary air pump. Where are you? Okay, so apparently the secondary air pump settings in my bin file are different from the ones they're talking about on the MS4X site. Looks like I have a couple on-off switches. You can see there. You can select 0 or 1. So I'm going to change them both to 0. That one is already 0. And I'm going to change that one to 0 as well. And we will save that. Now I'm going to save the bin file. We will save it as we'll just add delete on the end of it. Alright, now we need to go out to the car and load this onto the engine computer, and we should be good to go. Alright, we're back in the car. The key is on. Laptop is hooked up. Flashing utility is started up. Let's load that tune into the computer. We're going to select write to ECU. Oh, that's annoying. Load binary. And it's going to be the one with delete on the end. And here we're going to do a partial write. We're not doing a full write. The full write would be the entire computer program, which we're not doing. We're just doing the configuration data. All right, looks good. One last thing though, I'm going to reset the adaptations. And I will select all. Oops, looks like I gotta cycle the key before I do that. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, that's more like it. And last but not least, let's see if the engine runs. Nice. Also, I noticed when I was looking at the MS4X webpage, there are some other things I can do to tweak the programming to get a little bit more power out of the engine. But we're going to have to save that for a future video. I got to get this video finished and put out, so we're going to end it here. Thanks for watching.